Story 1. This incident occurred just 10 minutes ago, and I received the account from my wife as I am currently 400 kilometers away. My wife was at work and called to inquire about the status of my pay. The company made a mistake, so I did not receive my overtime. As I was explaining the situation, a lady walked in. My wife works as a receptionist at a doctor's office. This lady had the stereotypical haircut and that "I want to speak to your manager" attitude, along with a ridiculous grin. The entitled lady asked, "Is the doctor in?" My wife replied, "No, he only comes in from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. due to being over 80 years old." "Well, that is very rude and unprofessional. What if there is an emergency?" the lady exclaimed. "Then you would need to go to the emergency room at the hospital, as this is only a clinic and not equipped with the necessary medical equipment," my wife explained. "Listen, you little brat, you don't have to be rude," the lady retorted. "Ma'am, I am not being rude," my wife responded. My wife cannot be rude. Bless her pure, golden heart. "Stop talking back, you witch!" the lady shouted. My wife started to cry, pleading, "Please, ma'am, I was not being rude." "I don't care what you say. I will be filing a complaint against you," the lady declared before leaving. My wife called me in tears, and I told her, "You survived an encounter with a wild Karen." She laughed at this. It was her first such encounter, and she handled it like a champion. Kudos to my wife. Story 2. I work in a preschool and sometimes babysit children from work, especially during breaks. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, our preschool has been closed. Because my sister has a disability and is immunocompromised, my entire family agreed to self-isolate. Thankfully, most of us can work from home. We decided to limit our contact with others, even other family members, to protect my sister. I was playing outside in the driveway with my brothers when a familiar car pulled up, and one of the little girls from preschool, let's call her Susie, got out. I have babysat her many times before, but I had not agreed to do so on this occasion. I assumed the mother was going to ask me to watch Susie, but when I approached the car, she sped off, leaving poor Susie there. I had not made any previous arrangements to watch her and did not want to let her into my house, knowing her father travels frequently and Susie might be a carrier of the virus. I got her some water and let her sit in the garage to shield her from the wind as I tried calling her mother and father. Neither picked up at first until I finally got hold of a very angry mother. I explained that I could not watch Susie and that she would have to come back and pick her up. The mother became upset, saying she was already at work. This was a complete fabrication. She works at a mall that I know for certain is closed because of the coronavirus pandemic. I informed her that if she did not return within half an hour the distance from the mall to my house, I would contact Child Protective Services. She knows we are mandatory reporters because we have already had to open a case regarding her family. She explained that she could not come but said she would send her husband. 15 minutes passed, then 30. I gave Susie some chalk to color with while maintaining a distance but trying to keep her happy. An hour later, I realized no one was coming to get her. I contacted Child Protective Services and the non-emergency police line, and police officers arrived at my house within a few minutes. I explained the entire situation to them, and thankfully, a Child Protective Services worker was able to arrive quickly. The mother called me later and yelled at me for Susie being taken by Child Protective Services and for them opening another investigation. She claimed I always watch Susie during breaks. I explained about my immunocompromised sister, and she became very offended that I even suggested Susie might be ill. I did not bother to explain how she could be a carrier without showing symptoms. She declared that she would not be returning Susie to our preschool because of my appalling and disrespectful behavior, but I know that she has been asked to leave all the other preschools in the area. I would not mind if that mother never returned, but I would certainly feel bad for little Susie. Story 3. I just moved into an apartment last week. So far, everyone I have met in passing has been pleasant. No one has been excessively loud at unreasonable hours, arguing with each other, stealing parking spaces, or engaging in other typical shared space misbehavior. At least not yet. I have only been here for a week. However, I did encounter a mother with a sense of entitlement and her approximately 6-year-old son. My apartment is one of those units that are half underground, with 2 other floors above. As a result, the top of my patio wall is level with the walking path. If I have my blinds open, people can easily see into my living room and kitchen. This honestly does not bother me. The weather has finally become quite pleasant here, so after work yesterday, I opened my patio sliding door and blinds to let the cooler air in while playing some Minecraft. After a while, I could hear a couple of women talking outside a few units down. Just general chit-chat. I also heard a younger child running around, playing with the gravel along the pathways, and generally just being a bored kid while his mother talked with her friend. It was really no big deal at all. Then it happened. I heard one of the women call for the child. Jason, 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 get over here, Jason. Fake name for protection. I looked up to see the child standing on the path next to my unit, transfixed by the TV. Uh-oh. He did not answer quickly enough. The mother came stomping over to him and grabbed his arm to force him to look at her while she yelled in his face about answering her and not watching TV, especially someone else's. I thought the way she was acting was excessive, but I let it be. He is not my child, and I am not a parent at all just to my fur babies, 2 cats. I did pay attention in case things got worse so I could intervene, but I did not stare. I only looked over when she called out to me to apologize for her son note, not for her behavior. I said it was fine. The mother took him back over to her friend, and they continued talking. Eventually, the child started playing around near them again. Soon, he was back over at my patio, looking in and watching me play. Shortly after that, I heard the mother yell at him again. This time, he flinched hard. It broke my heart to see the effects of mistreatment in action and was just frozen, staring at her. This time, I jumped up and went to my patio door. She was already at him and yelling at him again. I tried to interject to say I truly did not mind that he was watching me play. This is where her sense of entitlement became apparent. She turned to me with a sickly sweet demeanor, the anger momentarily gone, and kindly explained that dear Jason was grounded and not allowed to even look at a TV. I said, "Bummer, dude," to him in sympathy. She did not like that I addressed him and not her. I also do not think she liked that I showed him sympathy instead of instantly taking her side. Even though I had no idea why he was punished in the first place, I would not doubt if it was for some trivial, non-existent reason on her part, or her being bothered by normal child behaviors. She then asked me something that blew my mind. "Can you please shut off your TV when we're out here? We are usually out here for some outside time for about an hour a day. Or you can just shut your window and blinds." I am not going to lie. The people pleaser I had been raised to be almost said, "Oh, sure, no problem," and was going to do it. Then I stopped myself, thinking, wait, what? Telling me what to do in my house? I am trying to have a stronger backbone. I told her no, I would not. Oh boy, that sure as heck is her trigger word. I thought she was going to reach in and grab me and yell at me like I was her child. The look was so instantly angry. She again explained the situation, fully expecting me to cooperate this time. She laid out her case. She made the demand again. Not a faux question this time. I again told her no. I came home to relax, and this is how I do it. She asked me if I have children. Uh-oh. I am solidly child-free, and according to the laws of parenting, my thoughts and opinions are completely and instantly invalid unless I produce at least one mostly full-term offspring. I told her no, and she smirked. I thought so. I was ready for a lecture on how to handle children properly or something, but she just pulled her son away back towards the other woman, who I assumed was still there. She said something as she went, but I did not really hear it, so I do not know if it was to me, her son, or her friend. Maybe even grumbling to herself. I had not seen those two before yesterday, but apparently they are out there for at least 1 hour daily around that time. There is a pool, a few barbecue pits, and a grassy area outside my unit in between the surrounding units' buildings. I get to see all the good dogs walk by, and it makes my day. So, a small development occurred. I called Child Protective Services. I thought about it a lot since posting yesterday. I even consulted a few people I know who have been on both sides reporting and being reported. After telling them the story and hearing their experiences and advice, I decided to go ahead and do it. What really convinced me was that while the child may have done something to earn the grounding, and maybe the mother had a really bad millennium that exploded in that moment, Her physically jerking him around, yelling in his face, and especially his reactions pushed me to do it for his benefit. I did it anonymously and do not know which exact unit she is in. I was kind of surprised that I talked to an actual person. At first, she had the tone of just taking a general complaint. As soon as I explained the child's reactions, especially being completely nonverbal when being yelled at and shaken, she took more interest. I was warned that this call did not guarantee an investigation. Also, that it could take time to start and even more time to conclude depending on various factors, me not knowing the exact unit number being one of them. A new update. The child has been removed to his biological father's house and is doing well. He is wanted there and loved from what I have been told. Story 4. I have a part-time job working at the library, just 2 hours every day during their busiest time, and it is quite nice to have a quiet place. This incident happened about a week ago. I was on my shift as usual, clearing away some books, when I heard a little boy and his mother arguing behind me. They were not arguing too loudly, and I did not want to get close. Since there was nobody else in this section, I did not stop them. I continued to listen to music on my headphones and sort books. Then the entitled mother approached me. "Can you help my son with the technology?" she asked. I said sure and went to look at it. I figured it was the recurring problem of the computer shutting down again. We had been experiencing this glitch for a bit. But no, it was the little boy's homework. The library does offer a tutoring service. It is relatively inexpensive, but I am not one of the tutors here. However, it was 5th grade work at best, so I had some time on my hands and thought, why not? Helping people with technological issues is part of my job. Her son needed help with a history problem. It was something about the Revolutionary War, and I offered to find some books for him. The mother said, "No, it is unnecessary. You can just help him right there." The first couple of problems were relatively easy. They were some basic questions like naming the first 5 presidents, how many amendments there are, all the fundamental stuff. I did a couple of quick internet searches and expected to be able to leave. The little boy opened another tab. It was for a book report, and he asked me if we had a particular book there. That was certainly part of my job, helping people find books, so I went and found the book for him. It was Charlotte's Web, and I had some fond memories of it growing up, so I made some small talk, saying, "This is a nice book. You would enjoy it." The mother interjected, "So you have read this book before?" "Yes, I have. It is quite nice," I replied. "That is perfect. You can write the book report for my son," she declared. "What? No, your son has to do his own homework. I helped him find the book. He needs to do the rest," I explained. The child protested, "But I do not know how. Our library actually has some leaflets on writing book reports. I can get one for you," I offered. "Just do it for him. He is such a little kid. Just do me a favor," the mother insisted. I should not do somebody else's homework, and it is not part of my job, so I do not have to do it anyway, I stated firmly. "Yes, it is. You have to help me, or else why did you help him before?" "You are lying," she accused. The child chimed in, "Just write a book report for me. It only needs to be 2 pages. "No, I am not your personal tutor, and you need to learn how to write your own book report. It is not my job. I need to go back and sort out the bookshelves," I explained. "No, you need to do this, or else I am going to get your manager and have you fired," the mother threatened. "You cannot fire me for not helping your son do his homework. Besides, I helped him with his history homework already, and that was me doing you a favor," I responded. "No, you are trying to get out of your job. I see this library offers help. You need to help me," she insisted. "Ma'am, you are being very loud. This is a library. Please be quieter. Other people are studying," I reminded her. I continued, "Also, our library does offer help. But first, they will not do your son's homework for you. Second, you need to pay for weekly sessions in advance, and currently, there are no available sessions. This month is already full. Just do my son's homework, for goodness sake. I am not going to be quiet if you do not do your job," she exclaimed. "If you do not be quiet, ma'am, you will need to leave. You need to use your inside voice here, and there are other people studying. You are disturbing them," I warned. At this point, my supervisor came over. and the mother went on yelling at him about how he needs to fire me because I am not doing my job. He and the security officer asked her to leave. It also turned out that she actually had several $100s worth of fines and lost books, and this was not her first time causing a disturbance here. As a result, she is now banned from the library, and her library account has been deleted. I have never seen her again, and I am extremely glad about that.